It's time to get your checking account to zero with free checking from PenFed. That's zero ATM fees, zero balance requirements, and zero time spent waiting for your paycheck to direct deposit because you can receive it up to 2 days early. Open your account with just $25 and see how big zero can be. Apply online today at PenFed.org/free checking. Early direct deposit eligibility may vary between pay periods and timing of payers' funding. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, episode 93. Just coming back from the Ketchikan High School graduation, and I was wondering what in the world I would say if I was giving a commencement address. Because advice to kids is just... advice in itself is weird. Because there's a difference between, like, the advice that we give might not be the advice we actually adhere to. And so we're not saying, hey, this is what worked for us. It's like, oh, this is what I struggle with. But it's the right thing to say. Or people just say, oh, there's this, and it's just detached and it's callous or shallow or just your sounding board, and it can be a real predictable bore. No, actually not bore. That's probably not the right word. I enjoyed the graduation. In fact, I was thinking about this because this senior class that graduated this year is as good, if not the best senior class I've ever had. As good. We'll just say as good. The only reason I would say it might potentially be the best is that I had a lot of these kids for 3 or even 4, 5, 6 semesters. Like some of these kids I've had for 3 years. So it's impossible to look at a senior class at a school where you've only had the kid for 1 year and think, man, these kids are great. So you get to see them on such a different level when you teach at a small high school. So I was thinking about what I could do to try to help them. Like, what would I be able to say? And things that I've said over the year in other classes when we're having class discussions. And what could I say to these kids to kind of help them out? Because as much as we tell them that, you know, the world is theirs and it's just the beginning and oh, good luck and it's great, and like, they have to know that that's not always like that, right? Like at some point they figure out that nursery rhymes and fairy tales are fake. So I want them to believe that they can, because I don't want them to be cynical, but there is a reality involved here, and they have to know it. They have to know that it's going to be difficult, and maybe it's hard for me to give advice because I feel like even though I'm 38 years old, I'm just now figuring out how to be a good man. And I don't think that I'm close to finishing that. One of the biggest mentors in my life said the same thing when he was in his 60s, and I thought, oh boy, if he's in his 60s and he's just figuring out how to be a good man, or still figuring out how to be a good man, that, you know, being at the time I was half his age, how in the heck can I think that I have anything figured out? But maybe that's the point. Maybe that is the advice. Maybe that is what graduating seniors should know, is that at any given time you should be working towards something, and you should be working on yourself. Not in like a self-help sort of way, but in a life optimization, in a what are those words? You have self-help, which I don't like. There's one phrase I really do like. Self-improvement, maybe self-improvement, life improvement, whatever. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's the ambiguous, at any point you should be growing advice that kids should get. And that's what I would tell them. Because just because you're an 18-year-old, just because you graduate high school doesn't mean that you're an adult, really. Like, you can be an adult age but not really be an adult. And if you look at a lot of the adults that are supposed to be older and wiser and have more information, just how we yell at each other and how we treat each other, I can't imagine 18-year-olds are too super optimistic about the future, that they're just joining a group now that you're like rushing aside. If it was college, you're going to rush this idea, this set of ideas, and you can't be an individual, or you have to be the right type of individual. And I think you have to be able to look at yourself, and that would be the advice, that there's not going to be a quote that's going to work for you, because you have to work at it. You have to do things in order to live the life that you want to live. It's got to be a constant struggle. Like if there's a movie made about your life, at any given moment, if someone were to watch it, would it be entertaining at all, or are you doing nothing? Like, what are you doing? What does this character want? When you watch a movie, we know what characters want. Characters who we don't know what they want are subordinate characters that we don't really care about that much. But the main characters are the ones that we know what they want, and we want them to achieve that because it's obvious, and they're going through the struggles to get there. And kids who have graduated high school have gone through struggles. And those who have come out on the other side of those struggles positively, they have rich high school experience because they got through the struggles and they made it. And I think that is the growth thing, is the point. Like being okay with catching 9 shrimp. You go out there and you set pots. Like, yes, I caught exactly 9 shrimp. 9 shrimp. But I'm happy, man. I got 9 shrimp. Hand pulled it. You know, you have to be excited about that, and you have to be okay with growing. You have to be able to be okay with empty pots at first. And this is not a metaphor. This is like literal. Got to get a little bit of outdoors in here. Going out when you're learning how to fly fish and you don't know anything, and you're just casting and catching the trees behind you. Fly fishing is so much more fun once you get it figured out. And part of that is because you went through all that time you had where you could have quit, you didn't like it, you could have whined, you could have been pouty, which I was, but then you make it through, you persevere, and you learn about yourself, and that's fun. So becoming a good fly fisherman, becoming a good outdoorsman, becoming a good writer, becoming a good man, becoming a good person, that's the struggle, being engaged in the struggle. I don't think you can tell high school kids that. I don't think that'd be a good commencement address. I think it'd be a terrible commencement address, as a matter of fact. I think it'd be real and it would be honest. But I think most people would just kind of want a little tidbit, and then you get the pictures, get on with it, throw the tassels, throw the hats, throw the tassels, all that. But yeah, I think about that sometimes. You know, as a teacher, you have to be thinking about the impact that you have on kids, and it doesn't even have to be a teacher. It can be a guide, anything at your work. What is better because of you? Is anything better because of you? And that's not something to make anybody feel bad, negative, sad, or depressed, but I don't know. I think that's got to be part of our daily question, no matter how old we are, is what about my day is better? It doesn't have to be a huge thing. You don't have to go volunteer at the soup kitchen or give stuff away or do a kind deed or buy someone's coffee. You don't have to do something like that. You can just be a nice person. You can just be a positive. Just go about your day positively. You never know who that's going to impact. 2 episodes ago, Matt Hamilton was talking about just putting kindness out into the world and just seeing where it's going to reverberate. And maybe it won't even be reverberate in any way that he's going to know. You know, it just echoes out in the world somewhere.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
And it's really ambiguous, but I think we have to individualize that. I think that's the key. I think that's the advice. Something that we can't answer. When we were graduating from high school, we never knew. There's no secret to life. It's just an individualized approach to a quote or a lifestyle or something. You end up buying into nonsense, buying into BS, and having this little protective cocoon that keeps you from growing, or you challenge yourself to move, grow, and learn, and each context changes. I don't know. Maybe that's what someone should say. Or I think that's what I would say, and I think everyone would be like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. What in the world was that? Anyway, so that's why commencement addresses not good. But I do think about it. Think about how bad I was when I first started shooting my bow. How bad I was at everything started first. Now I wonder how much I'm a late to the hunting thing. Like percentage wise, how many new things do kids try in high school versus in the next decade? And how much we just kind of get set in our ways and just kind of wiggle our way into a routine. I bet a lot of people like hobbies and habits and those sort of things wise, not like I'm going to try a wine cooler for the first time. I'm going to try whatever else. Like habits, things that you like to do. Because once you stop taking classes for it or have to take classes for it, you're not forced by the world to do something. Like take a vocational ed class. I need a semester of shop I have to take. And you take it and you're like, dude, this is actually kind of cool. I like it. Once you get out of high school, if you don't go to college or any other school, there's no classes. There's no exposure to, or in order to be a well-rounded person, we're going to require a whole bunch of stuff that you might think is asinine and not needed. But you got to take at least a semester. Life isn't like that. You got to kind of sign up yourself. There's like an advisor, a teacher, RA telling you what to do. It's just you. That's the influence there. Buddies that got me into fly fishing, and then being around people who like to hunt got me into that. And then riders. But at some point, it's kind of there by yourself. You got to make the call. But I think there's always something good. There's always something that's worthwhile. There's always something that's you can get something from, because your job can't be everything. It can be something that you do. It can't be everything. That's why I love teaching here at Ketchikan. Is you got an amazing life outside of school. I was able to launch my boat, pull my crab pots, and be back to the dock. I can do that in about an hour 15, which is crazy. From my house, hook up my boat, launch the boat, drive out there, pull the pots or set the pots, be back in an hour 15 if I want. That's insane. No one gets to do that. That's crazy. It's crazy. Then I go to school and you got, the clientele there, the kids there, they're great kids. And you can see them grow so much more. You have them as freshmen, and then some of these kids you see graduated 3 years later. Like, man, that's a good young man right there. That's a good young lady. Feel good about their potential for success. They're going to be good contributors to the world. Feel good about that. It's hard if you're at a bigger school and you only have a group of seniors. The turnover is so fast. You only have a semester with them. You only have a year with them. But when you, it's the benefit of the small school. Makes it a lot more difficult when they leave. But you're glad they're going, because if they were to stay there, then there's no 13th grade. You gotta get out and go dominate some life. But I think that would be the advice. Going forward, you gotta keep moving. You gotta never peak. You gotta find new stuff to do. You gotta do it. Just no alternative. Always be learning, always be growing, because once you think you have it figured out, and you start to coast, man, like, it's no good. Live a good story. So there's a quick episode 93. Make sure you check out their mediocrealaskan.com content on there. Check out Captain Kilos for the blog post up in there. And we will talk to you next time.